Hi, it's Anna Haferman, and today I'm going to show how to change the sponge on a Brother KX350. I got this one on eBay, and as most machines you get on eBay, the sponge bar will almost definitely need replacing. The way you can tell, there's ways to tell. First of all, I can tell these needles are very floppy. If I turn it over, probably some of them will fall out, as some of them already have. Some of them had fallen out in the package before I even started this. You see how they're all sliding down like that? That's not supposed to happen. They're supposed to stay up. Some of them are, but they're not. This definitely needs the sponge bar changed. So if you look on the bottom of it, the sponge bar is in here, and I can see that it's flat. If you look at the very end, if you look at the very end and pinch the bar at the end, there's no pressure left, and it's degraded as well. It's like breaking up into sometimes they're just dry, and other times they're just really gooey. This one, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to look, but what I'm going to do is pull the sponge out from the end. Here's what the sponge looks like, and if I press on it, I can tell there's no resistance. Here's what the end looks like. I'll try to get in there and show you. It's the sponge bar is just falling apart and corroded. This one kind of dry. A lot of times they're very sticky inside. So to get this out, I need to go in through here and grab the sponge bar. It's going to be easier for me to show you if I take this piece off, but you don't have to take this piece off. What I'm using to take this off is a Japanese industrial screwdriver. And these look like Phillips head, but they're slightly different, so they get right in there, and they're easy to remove. I bought these on Amazon because I fix quite a few knitting machines, and they're just much nicer. I got a set of 3. I think they were about $15. I can put a link to, that one works a little better. I'll put a link to the ones I bought, so if you do decide you want some, you can go look at them there. They really do make a difference. Sometimes the Phillips screw heads strip the screws. So you either have to work with that or get new screws, which you don't really want to have to do. So just, and like I said, you may not have to do this on yours, but I want to show you what I'm doing. So I'm taking this piece out. Okay, so that just lifts right off, and then that's the end piece. Which is this piece. And I'm just going to keep the screws right in there so I don't lose them. Now, really all you have to do is, with your fingers, you can pull this out. It comes out really easily, especially if it's flat. And I'm just pulling it, and it's coming through, just pulling the whole thing out. There it is. this, and you can see just how disgusting and gross that is. So I'm going to throw that in the garbage immediately because it will get everywhere, and you just want to get rid of it as soon as you can. Now that I've got the sponge bar out, I want to get the needles out. So the way to do that is just to pull them. They actually will fall out, but it's better to pull them out a few at a time. So take all your needles out by pull them all the way this way, and you can pull up and then back, and they'll come out, and you can do them a couple at a time. And since there's no sponge bar in there, it's pretty easy to do. So now we're ready to put the sponge in. I've taken all my needles and just put them in this jar, and I'm going to put them aside. And then I'm going to take my sponge. I use these regular sponges. They have fabric on one side but not on the other side. I sell these in my Etsy shop. You can get them on eBay and Amazon as well, but these are the ones I use. So here's the middle of the machine. It's with this, there's a long metal bar there. And now I'm going to take the sponge bar, which with the fabric side up, and starting in the middle, I'm going to start pushing it through. And I'm going to go through this one and just push it through with the fabric side up, using something that I can get it through somewhat easily. And then with this forceps, I think I can grab it and just start pulling till it looks like I've got enough on each side. Let me zoom out some. So here's the middle of the sponge. Here's the end. The other end looks like that. And then I'm just going to take it and start pushing it through just like I did there. And so I'll do it again on this one. Try to push it. This thing works pretty well because it's curved, so you can get under. You can use a screwdriver or a flat chopstick or something. Just get it until you can pull on the other side, and you can get it with your fingers if that works for you, till it looks like that. Then do the next one. So anything you can push it through there with will help. Now you see we're under here, so we're going to try to go in. Underneath and pull. You see, it's not that difficult. Then get to the next one. And this time there's two things to go under. If you get into trouble here and you can't, it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to get it through there. You can take this piece off with your screwdriver, but we want to avoid that. I'm just trying to do this as quickly and as easily as we can. Let's see, it just came right through. And just be gentle with it because you don't want to rip the foam. And keep going. I'm going to start going this way now. Push through. And one thing that can help push it through easy is if you just kind of cut that off at a little angle, because this sponge is going to be longer than you need anyway, so it'll get to the end. So that way you can just push it through with whatever you're using, and then grab it. Now here I'm going to use a pliers, and that works just fine too. So anything you can get under there with will be fine. Just keep going until you get to the end, till you get it through. It's really not that difficult. It's just, it's harder than with the LK150 because the LK doesn't have these little things, but it's not super difficult. Now, if you get like that, where it seemed like that piece wasn't going to go through easily because there's too much bunching up, you can do this. Start pushing it through this way. And don't worry too much about getting the end. Won't matter if it gets kind of roughed up, because it'll end up over here where you won't, it'll be too long for the bed anyway, so you end up cutting it off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So one more. Okay, so get it through that last little thing. Once you get it through, get in there however you can and grab the end and pull it through. Now, the sponge ends up right about here. As long as it's a little bit past the needle bed, it'll be fine, because the last needle is going to hold it down. You don't want it to end right there, but it doesn't need to go too much further. So now we'll turn this way, and I've got more to go under here. And I liked how it worked with cutting it off, so I'll do that again. Here I am, and one thing I find is if you go through too much all at once, you end up twisting the sponge, and then it's not in there the right way. So what I'm going to do is pull it out like that, and then I have it underneath the little thingy, and just slowly pull it out. And then once you get it to your next one, do that. And just gradually ease it through. And when you get here, you may have to, it's easier to do this. So kind of inchworm it along. And that should help give you some slack. So if I'm trying to pull here, I've got too much tension here to get this to go flat. So I have to start somewhere over here, and that seems to solve the problem. And then I'm just going under one more of these little things. things is the technical term. And there we go. And then we're underneath everybody. And we're going right here. And pulling. And there we go. So now all we need to do is put the needles back in. So take a needle. When you are putting the needle in, you want the latch open. So you want it all the way open. And then what you're doing, you go under, take it at an angle like that, and I've got my finger on this piece of sponge, and I'm sort of pushing it up, and then I'm finding the spot between the sponge and the needle and pushing it through. So I'll show you from the other side. So open the needle, and let's see if I can do this from this side. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've got the latch open, and I'm coming out right here. And what I've had my finger there, so then I go like that. So I haven't put all my needles back in yet, and I'm actually not going to do this on this machine because I want to clean this first. But this is how your needles should look once they're in the proper, like when you tilt the machine like this, they're going to stay right there. And then when you push them out, you feel some resistance. And then when you run the carriage across, you will, they will knit, or, so that's what we're looking for. So that's how to change the sponge on your KX350. If you like my videos, please subscribe and like, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll put links for the screwdrivers and the sponge in the description. Thank you.